absolutely the way to go.
I do too.
It's a big win.
But we have to give them some kind of a time frame to do it.
Them being DCS.
No, extension, well, yeah, DCS, we have to let them know an extension, we got
The
it.
extension will want to be done certainly before fair time.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's,
Fair time.
but that may, with the modules, you may be able to
That's
do
what I'm
that.
thinking.
Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our Commissioners' meeting for December 4th, 2017. We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've got a short agenda today. We'll start with our County Attorney, Matt Shipman.
The only update I guess I could give you is that we did get the Intelligent lawsuit on file. They haven't responded yet, but I did get a phone call from a man in Florida who had invested in some of the company down there, and he said, hey, good luck. I've been suing him down here for a while and got nothing, so not overly optimistic, but we did get it on file, so we can see what happened. I'm still waiting to hear a response on the Solstice one, so.
Yeah. You know, it's nice that we've got the clawbacks in the contracts, but if they don't have anything to give, there's not much we can do.
You know, the only alternative that maybe, and this may just discourage people, but it would be to make people do personal guarantees. I mean, now you may discourage all investment at that point because other counties aren't going to make those requirements. But without that,
Yeah.
these companies just in and out.
Well, if you look at our track record, it's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, we've
You know,
been very
one little
fortunate.
blip on the radar screen doesn't make us bad, but,
That's true.
you know.
That's totally true.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Jeez.
Jeez, thank you, Matt.
Everybody's slowing down for the holidays.
I think that's what it is. Next on the agenda is Sheriff Gatton, and he is ill this morning, so he's not going to be able to be available. Then we have Brandon. Brandon Forrester is our highway engineer and director.
Put that in with this stack and we'll get to those. First on my list is our notice to bidders for our annual bids for fuel, asphalt,
Thanks, bud.
stone,
Thank you.
salt, major supplies, equipment rental. We spoke quite a bit down at the highway about our fuel spec. I think we've tweaked it to get what we want, and what we want is consistent, high-grade diesel fuel. You know, we're responsible, or we provide fuel for 20 different departments, including our ambulance, our fire, our police, our schools, and our snow plows. And I think it's for a few pennies, it's worth it to specify premium. And I've learned a lot through that. With gasoline, it's octane. With diesel, it's cetane. And there's a minimum rating and that. Really, the major change on that is we don't want when I call you and tell you I want a load of fuel, I don't want you to call around and get the cheapest that you can get it that day, because you get what you pay for, and that cheap fuel might not meet our specifications.
Yeah.
So, we specify we want it from one rack for the whole year, and you tell us where that's going to be, and so that's the major change on petroleum products. We adjusted the quantities on some of the items to be more realistic to what we'll actually be purchasing. We went back to an older way that we used to do things, and we put our heavy equipment, just put it in with the bids. recently we had bids and we had quotes, and some were due here and there, and it was this time and that time, and the items that we just did away with as far as these are pavement striping. I'll do that in the spring, and I'll just get quotes, and tires. And
I wondered about tires, yeah.
yeah, we just go by state bid on
Yeah.
the tires. So
Okay, good.
so those are the major item changes. And we will receive bids January 2nd. Your first meeting in January,
I believe so.
and we will table those, and
Yeah.
I'll go back and analyze everything and come back with recommendations to award on the 15th. No, my bad, the 16th. 15th's a holiday.
So we have a 10:30 bid opening.
The bids are due at 10 o'clock, and we
Yeah.
will open them here at 10:30.
Yeah, so we need to call a meeting to order at 10:30 here, okay?
And between now and then, we have to advertise twice in the newspaper. Anyone that we currently do business with or has requested the notice, we will mail that to in engineering as far as equipment rental and all of our other
Yeah,
major
okay.
suppliers. We'll send them a copy of this notice. But if you so choose, here's what makes it official.
I make a motion that we approve the notice to bidders so he can get it advertised.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the motion, or the notice to bidders. I'll second that. Further discussion?
I was hoping he was second.
Me too.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you. Is Jana gonna be here tomorrow, Tamla, do you know?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have her sign it tomorrow, since I got it set up for her signature. Just a quick update, Wednesday afternoon, there will be a pre-construction meeting for the Liberty Mills project. So I'll attend that on the county's behalf, even though we're
Thank you.
just kind of on the sideline, but I know they have done some clearing of right-of-way to allow for, and utilities are working on getting their stuff relocated, so it's kind of really not the time of year to be too gung-ho on a project like that.
It'll be starting maybe in April, May on that probably.
Whenever the weather breaks. This is just, I just highlighted, I talked to Don a little bit to let him know. What I've got highlighted is that mower deck and disc and the gravel road maintainer. And we are looking on an online auction site. A farmer in Nebraska has 219 lots, and those three are three things that he has on for sale. So I set up an account on Big Iron, bigiron.com, and I set up an account on uship.com, and I figure if we can get it for half or a third of new cost,
Great.
and for that disc, what that is a shoulder, kind of a shoulder maintainer. It's on a disc. It's a disc that mounts on the back of the tractor, and it pulls a shoulder in. So it's good for gravel roads where you've graded the gravel out to the edges. You can pull it back in and reclaim it, and then that gravel road maintainer, you would follow it up with that, and what it does is it pushes the stone out and pulls it back in and back out, and then levels it off, and it kind of does a little better job than just running a belly blade down it.
So would you go to Nebraska to examine these, or?
Wasn't planning on it
Okay.
for what we're talking.
Okay.
I mean, if there's a weld broke or something, we can fix it. There's really not much to go wrong on those two pieces. But they do also have what appears to be a really nice 8-foot PTO John Deere mower deck that would mount right on the back of either one of our tractors. So we could have a deck behind us and our arm beside us, and we could mow 13 foot of Lincoln Way and not have to be out on the road. So we were looking at buying that stuff anyways. This is the plan that I presented to commissioners and council back whenever, July or August, September. And so I just wanted to let you know that we're looking at that as an option. We got the okay from NDOT to move forward with our next phase bridge inspection contract. I don't know, Matt, if you had a chance to look at that?
Haven't had a chance to look at that one
Okay,
yet.
and that's fine. I'll bring that back next meeting.
Okay.
But this
That's a standard contract though, right?
It's a boilerplate,
Yeah.
yeah. And that would be between
Okay.
NDOT and Whitley County. The previous contract was between Whitley County and the consultant.
Yeah.
So, this Wednesday, they really got things going. But our next bridge project is Bridge 34, which is on County Road 500 South. Be the second bridge west of State Road 9. Was it 2 years ago, we did the bridge to the west of it. So all three of those bridges will be relatively new. The one that we did last time, and the one we're doing this time, they have their box beams set on actually timber piling with timber caps, and the timbers just rotted. They were probably put in the 60s. So the plan is, weather permitting, they'll be closing that on Wednesday, and for approximately 3 months.
Do we know what the cost is on that? Did you?
I don't have a final number on that. They're putting that together for me on estimate, but it's probably going to be similar to the last one. I'm going to guess, $325.
Have we physically seen the increase in the bridge queue fund?
Yes.
It's already started?
Yeah.
Perfect,
We're in good shape there.
perfect.
We got official word from NDOT, a notice to proceed, I guess, on that railroad safety measures grant that Beth applied for. We got the notice to proceed on that, the fully executed agreement. Those agreements have to go to the Attorney General. So we can work on the signs anytime. We've got like 18 months to complete that. The pavement markings, I'll work in the spring with our striping project, get quotes for all that, so. And then I think the only thing that's left is right-of-way permits on my list, and you might want to get going on them, because it's going to take a while.
Do you want to talk about a couple things before we do? Per our conversation last week, fuel price increase and tank size increase,
Oh.
is that anything you want to?
Oh, I don't know, it's just an idea right now.
Yeah, but
One of the problems, I'll just let anybody who's interested know, we've got two 10,000 gallon tanks. One for diesel, one for unleaded. Basically, to get the pricing that we do, your minimum load is 7,500 gallons. Well, the bottom, I forget, it's like 700 or 900 gallons is below the pickup, so you lose that out of 10,000. And on any given snow event or a rush on diesel from the buses, I mean, we could go through like 2,000 gallons in a 24-hour period. So we've kind of just been lucky, and Beth, I know, is she's all over it. She checks that meter every morning. We have a digital meter that tells us the capacity or what's available. But I talked to a guy that says that he could he's got people that would be interested in those tanks that we've got now. This is really just, like I say,
It was just talk.
But,
It was just
you know, if we
talk.
could get either 12 or 15,000 gallon tanks, or, I don't know, we even talked about, could we get one tank and split it? Well, then you gotta plumb it, because the one's way out front by the road and the other one's over beside the building. But we're looking at something that, you know, in the event of, like I say, a rush on fuel, that we don't run out. Like I say, mentioned earlier, with the 20 departments, emergency vehicles, and that running out, that's always been one of our worst fears. That, you know, it's bad enough when the system was down many times this summer, that was out of our control. So that's one thing that we talked about. There is a little bit of money in that fund, but not enough to pay for 2 new tanks. So we'd also talked about, you know, maybe adding a penny or two to the surcharge, if you will, that we charge, you know, everyone else, you know, for the use facility. And, you know, they're still getting a heck of a deal. I mean,
We haven't changed that since I've been here.
since we started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we started it, it's been 5 cents.
Yeah. That's right.
But, I mean, trust me, you all wish you could buy fuel at what we sell it for. But, I mean, 5 cents, that's, you know, $375 a load. So it really doesn't generate that much money. And then when you have lightning strikes, you have to pay for new computer parts and, you know, just general maintenance, light bulbs and other stuff, so.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's something
Yeah,
that
appreciate it. I wanted to kind of go over the couple
Sure,
things
yeah.
we talked about, so.
I'm just curious, if you had a 4 or 5 day snow disaster like we had the blizzard of '78, could you survive that?
Well, it depends on where we were when it started.
You're gonna lose some usage.
Well, sure. You know, I put in our spec that the supplier has to be available to, in an emergency, if we declare an emergency, they have to be available to deliver Sunday, Monday, or holidays. And they also have to be available to give us a split load if you know, if it's Friday and we're sitting at 6,000 gallons, so we don't have enough to order, we don't have enough capacity to order 7,500, but we're at 6,000. And now we got a 3 or 4 day holiday weekend, they're calling for a big snowstorm. We can call and ask for a split load and have them deliver it, a smaller load, so that we know we're full beforehand. Now, if we,
Of course, it depends on if your supplier is only 4 miles away too.
well,
Depending on the distance on that.
yeah,
As
that-
far as how bad a snow you got.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we've got, you know, yeah, we've got one supplier that is less than 4 miles away, and then the others are coming from a little further away. Well, we'll see how that goes. We're gonna take bids 1st of January, and we'll see who gets the bid, and if we award it to more than one, or how that goes, we'll see.
Because I just meant, as little as I know about it, it seems like it'd be a good idea to have at least a so many day period in worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I lived through the '78, people don't realize how bad that really was.
I lived through 78.
Yeah, but you were a little guy then.
Yeah.
My brother was, I think he was in your class, so I know you're, what, about 4, 3?
Me? Oh, no.
I was older than that.
No, I was about 5th grade.
Okay.
6th grade, 5th or
Yep,
6th
that's
grade,
right.
yeah. So, I mean, you know, we've got what we've got, 10,000 gallon tanks. Like I say, I've tweaked our spec to try and help us out a little bit, and we're contemplating looking at bigger tanks. Just for
Well, why
what
can't
you're
you just
talking
add
about.
another tank?
We could.
I mean,
You gotta have a place to
instead
put
of going to
it.
the expense of digging up the old ones.
We gotta have a place to put it. These are above ground tanks.
Oh, I see.
And we're just talking about it. We haven't talked to any
Yeah, these are-
suppliers or anything. This is very preliminary.
Thank you.
You bet.
And now on to right-of-way permits.
Well, all of them over there are easy. I've okayed all of those, so
Okay.
if you
We'll
need
get
any
started then.
details.
Okay, the first one I have is the East Magley Lane.
Magley Lane, MediaCom?
Yes.
Yes,
And you've signed off on that?
yes.
Okay. Just an underground line, is that what that is then, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay. For service to 3449 East Magley.
Make a motion, we approve the right-of-way permit.
Got a motion to approve, I'll second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same. Okay.
You just-
Do you have that one? Yeah, good, yep. Let's do this.
Oh, I did that, oh, okay. Sorry.
Just. Thank you.
That one's done.
Okay.
Can we slide them down here for now, or you
Yeah,
want to go
that's
back to?
fine.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is NIPSCO right-of-way permit for South Donatello Drive for install gas service to 5476 South Donatello. And it looks
That was
like you've signed off on that one also.
Yeah, that was a house that burned, applying new service to the house that burned.
Make a motion, we approve the 5476 South Donatello right-of-way permit.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. I'll second that motion. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
We got more to sign.
Yeah, there's only one there.
Thanks. Nope. Stand by. Here's the stickers, they're over here. There we go. Okay, so you're looking for these white stickers on the right.
Next one we have is from Neller Excavating.
Yes, they're gonna replace, it's a non-taxed county tile down on 700 South. It is a branch of the bile drain system that dumps into the Kelsey. You're gonna replace 40 foot under the road, so.
And you're okay with that? Everything, well, okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the replace and repair drainage tile under road.
Okay, we've got a motion. I'll second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Okay, the next one I have is boring conduits for Columbia City Electric to replace aerial power lines at Gatesworth.
Yeah, that's out of Crooked Lake. They had overhead electric that just kept causing them problems with trees and limbs, and so they're putting it all underground.
Okay. Motion to approve the Gatesworth subdivision underground work.
We've got a motion, I'll second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed the same. Thank you. You've seen, your stamp wasn't on that one.
Oh, yeah, that's that was the next one I was gonna bring up.
Okay,
Yeah, that, or you got more?
I've got more here yet.
Okay.
You need to sign those.
Okay, the next one I have is West River Road.
Duke Energy?
Two locations, yes, Duke Energy.
Yeah, they're reconfiguring, putting some new poles in, shifting some poles. Yeah,
You okay with that?
yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the Duke Energy right-of-way permit.
Okay, we've got a motion, I'll second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed the same. Okay, the next one I have is a letter from DLZ for the town of Churubusco.
DLZ, Town of Churubusco.
That's to extend the
Oh, yeah,
The-
crossing 375 north.
10-inch sewer main.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I sat on for a little while because that 375 north is, I mean, it's in our system. We're getting paid to maintain it, and we just did some leveling and chip seal of that road last year, but as I look at things, that, you know, at some point in time, Town of Churubusco is gonna have to take that road over, so. I went ahead and signed off. I recommend you go ahead and sign off just for the formality of it, but
What about,
it's arguable that.
what about west of 33, Brandon?
Now, west of 33, that's a different story. That's,
Because you know we're gonna tear that all up. That's gonna be all new sewer down through there.
I haven't seen or heard anything on that.
Well, I'm sorry, yeah, it
I
will.
mean, I know eventually,
Yeah, yeah.
but,
Eventually, maybe 2018.
oh, yeah, well, yeah, I haven't.
Okay. Okay,
I knew there was talk, but
okay.
I haven't seen any plans or anything. on
No,
that.
no,
But
no.
Sure, that
Yeah,
is definitely completely outside of the jurisdiction of Town of Churubusco, west
Yeah.
of 33.
it is.
But
The reason,
part of 375 east of 33 is technically,
because that's town.
right.
That was annexed on that side of the street.
Right.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve the DLZ request for right-of-way permit.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the DLZ request. I'll second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Only further discussion is that it's actually the town of Churubusco.
Okay.
Where I said DLZ, it's the town of Churubusco is requesting the permit, so.
Okay, so a request for a permit from the town of Churubusco for, and what was that?
A 10-inch main underneath
10-inch main.
375.
Okay. I'll second that. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Brandon. This is the most we've had.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Go. Okay, did you have other ones then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the one that you are aware of here at 2227 East Crampton Road. Well, that has apparently gone bad, and Scott probably gave me more details. So what's yours?
Bill Freeze, G&K Well Drilling, this is Dave Palmer, the owner.
Okay.
He has an old 2-inch well, it's up, there's a diagram on there. His existing well is on a 45-degree slope hill, put in back to the old days, Katie Pool. Very impossible to put a well at that size. He has building above that. We okayed with Scott, he wants water across the road for his shop also. So, we put the new well, so we didn't have to worry about the parking lot, somebody driving over it, banging into it. It's safe and secure on the other side of the road. And we're gonna do a horizontal bore across to the old well pit, and he has a newer copper line going in the house from there. So, we wanna go across there, we'll be going down about 6 to 7 feet deep. The whole idea is to be down below. Because water freezes, we're the deepest utility. We'll take it plenty deep to be out of harm's way, and we'll be pulling a conduit line and 2 water lines. And the diagram kind of has the rest. Any other questions? I wasn't aware that this was, I knew we had to get permit, I just didn't realize we had to come in here for some of it or why.
Well, because it's road right-of-way that you're crossing, so, any...
And what it is, in the past, I hired John Jugaret to do the boring. He kind of took care of things. This is the first time I've run into an issue where he told me that there was something he didn't like about it, or...
Well, I've all along been of the position that a public right-of-way is not a place for private utilities. Because if someone comes through there with a new fiber optic or whatever utility line and cuts through his water line, A, you're gonna have a heck of a mess, and B, who's gonna wanna pay to clean it up? Because it's not gonna get located if someone calls 811 for
So because he
locating.
has his own private well, you think that that makes a difference for him if he's buying his water from the city? I mean, whether they're being
Well, if
private...
it's a city, if it's a city, it's a public utility, and it's gonna get located when someone's excavating in the right-of-way. It's gonna be located through 811 service. This is not.
Well, and the other thing is, I know what you're saying there, but the other side of the coin is whenever we do an underground bore across there, we've done it past another lakes out of the county, we always go down usually 7 to 8 feet. We would take it down deeper so that I figure if anybody's going, when are you gonna have a sewer line? We try to make sure we're the deepest one there. And there's no reason for someone to go that much deeper. And it's
Well-
like everything else in life, if they do harm it, then the guy's gotta fix it. But so far, I've never had any issue regarding that.
yeah.
And I always figure it's better to bore underneath it than to tear your road up. I mean, you got to, and if the customer has properties on each side of the road and they want water in them, there's not much other way to go about it. Is the thing, and I was just surprised that there was a problem with this was all, and it's.
Well, I
wanted to come
mean,
here
I'm
and
looking
learn.
out for his interest, because you say there's nowhere else to go. Well, there is somewhere else to go, and because eventually our right-of-ways they are already getting clogged with utilities. And so, short of buying more right-of-way or utilities buying private easements outside of the right-of-way, there's nowhere else to go but down. If you've got a 40-foot right-of-way and 20 foot of it's roadway, then you've only got 10 foot on either side, and you got to locate 2 foot on either side of the line. There is a potential for a problem. Maybe not in your lifetime, maybe not in my lifetime, but I'm just pointing it out. I would be, a little bit concerned if it was me, but, because I'm sure that it's not cheap
Is
to put a new well in or.
But I would have approached this, because we already drilled the well and had the okay from Scott. And Scott said, that, it makes the most sense to him. And of course, there's other factors that come into it as far as safety of the well, and contamination, and that matter. And I would have had this conversation much earlier had I known that that was a problem with you.
Well, I mean, it is a cut in the right of way.
Anytime you're going under a road, that's in our right of way. I mean, so it would only make sense that we need to be in the know about that, right before anything starts.
Yeah, Don, the thing is, with this one, John's always taking care of it, because that's what he's doing. He's doing the actual job going on the road, and we never had an issue come up before.
Well,
It's not that often, but when this came up, I was just surprised.
Okay.
we had a guy this
So that's why I
summer,
brought the homeowner with me, and then to explain to you too, that we're not just, I'm not just gonna shoot under there as shallow as we can, we wanna try to keep it so we don't have a problem in the future, because, like you said, private utilities don't have the same protections as, the Holy Moly gang. They've already come up and hit my well before, and it's a different story when they hit my well versus.
you hitting there, yeah, well,
Private.
exactly, and that's why I bring it up,
Yeah. Yeah, and then, see, that's the other thing, the wire that goes with this, it will be able to be located as far as whoever's there. If somebody's gonna be doing work, the homeowner should be the one to say, hey, locate this, and because that's where I run the conduit with all three lines will be within a foot together. And you will be able to locate through the water well line going in the well, as far as where these are. And I mean, that's the best we can do.
Well, so, again, if something happens, all right, A, there's gonna be a big mess, and B, who's gonna pay to clean it up? And I wanna say, we're not.
I will.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking here, and Matt, jump in here.
We have,
Can't we get a hold harmless?
we have an agreement that previous attorney had prepared for Scott for these kind of circumstances.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I printed that off, and it includes an Exhibit A, which is, quote unquote, the real estate. I took the legal descriptions for the two properties, type on the Exhibit A. If he wants to review it, Scott wants to review it, the attorney wants to review it, I've got nothing in this other than I'm looking out, to protect him and the county.
Well, our right of ways are getting busy. I mean,
Yeah.
quite frankly, that's a fact. So I think the only way that I could feel comfortable approving this is with some type of document that says we're not going to be responsible should it get hit. So if that's a document and they're willing to sign it,
Honestly, I understand it both ways, because that makes sense, because as far as a big mess, if they cut it, you fix it. That's the way of life.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, you don't want to be responsible for okaying something that's an expense on your part. I get it. And
Yeah.
Dave, like I said, he's the one that's buying it and put it in. And so that's not a big issue. If we can do that, let's
Okay.
get her done.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure how to make the motion, other than to approve it with the stipulation that we get the paperwork signed. So that's it. Motion to approve with the stipulation we get the paperwork signed. Let Matt review it.
Where'd that guy putting the irrigation across?
I don't know that we did anything with him.
I'll look through
The
it.
sewers down at the lake are down by the lake. There's no sewer line. The only utilities are a gas line and fiber optic. And we're gonna go At least
way
2
deeper. We're probably
38
4 to
feet.
5 feet deep.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of Indiana, I know you gotta go deep. You just have to for water, so.
Plus, if it freezes that deep, I'm moving.
We're gonna let the attorney read the information here first.
I have 3 copies of that. Extra copies.
I mean, this looks fine to me. Earl compared to this probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, we do have
Long
2
time ago.
copies.
Usually just, they have a signed affidavit,
You guys seen this?
signed notarized, and then take it up to April. Just like we do with well exemptions, it's the same thing.
Okay.
It's
Thank
fine
you, Scott.
with me.
Okay. So we've got a second. We haven't voted yet, right?
We've not voted.
As soon as possible, I will.
Are we understanding this has already been done?
We're holding up, once I found out there was a hang-up, we're holding up the installation. The well is,
The well you drilled,
it is not hooked
you've
up.
not done the boring?
Right.
Okay,
It's-
right,
That's why we
okay,
got something, let's get it figured out before we start.
okay.
Thank you. Okay with that?
Yep, I'm
Okay.
okay with it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Do I need to sign?
Yeah.
Do you want to sign in front of the notary first? Oh, yeah. Keep it down to our office and sign it, and then.
Excuse me.
Oh, sure. Yep.
I guess that's what we're really
Thanks,
concerned
guys.
about.
Yep, thank you for coming in,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is for a perimeter tile for a septic, which it is Long Meadow subdivision down at 500 South, State Road 9.
Oh, yeah, yep, okay.
And this was originally it's been proposed through a right-of-way cut permit application to drain that perimeter tile under the road, which technically is onto someone else's property. And I told the home builder that did the application, after speaking with Scott, that, you know, you've got to have an easement. You can't just go on someone else's property and drain. We had that a couple meetings ago down south. Someone wanted to just blatantly drain onto their neighbor's property, and you guys actually denied that permit. Now, in speaking with Scott, after I had spoken with this home builder, I think they're gonna redesign it, but I still have this that I don't wanna just ignore. Whether you guys wanna table it.
I'll make a motion, we ignore it.
Okay.
Well, no, I'd make a motion that we table that request until you find out if it's gonna be
They
okay.
may redesign it so that that they're not.
So it fits our needs and
Yes.
it helps.
Okay, we got a motion to table, a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
You know what? We didn't sign this. I didn't, I'm sorry.
And that was at Long Meadow?
Yeah.
This one is, that you tabled is Long
Yeah.
Meadow, yes. And then finally, the Horseshoe Bay Association, according to this diagram, is proposing to put a 14-foot long by 4-foot tall sign for Edison Place Extended, which is one of about 4 subdivisions up off of Anderson Road. It's the second addition back, so it's not even adjacent to Anderson Road. There used to be a sign there, which was for some reason and somehow completely outside of the right-of-way. So, our zoning ordinance and requirements don't allow for signs in the right-of-way. Now, if it's a directional sign, like what was, an argument, if you will, that was pointed out to me, like, you come up to an intersection and there's a sign that says the United Methodist Church is this way, okay? A little small breakaway sign, something like that, maybe we could talk, but a 14 by 4 on 4, inch posts, I just don't think, arguably on someone else's property that's not even in the same subdivision. You guys can approve whatever. Again, I didn't want to ignore this because the person, did file for a permit, but I can't recommend approval. You guys can approve it if you want to, but I don't think that those kind of signs should be in our right-of-way. We've got enough stuff.
Well, I'd like to talk signs in general on the right-of-way, because I'm not sure I really agree with you if you put a little church sign on the right-of-way. As someone who has run for office, I can't put political signs in the right-of-way.
Well,
And
sure.
so, I can, but you have every right to pick them up
Sure.
and move them,
Yeah.
as does NDOT.
And they do.
And they do. So I believe in this case, it's pretty, this is just me now, it's just cut and dried. We say we can't put signs in the right of way, we're not gonna put signs in the right of way.
It's all signs.
So,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
there's land right there outside of the right of way, they can talk to the owner and work out something, but we're not dealing with that. I make a motion, we don't approve putting signs in the right of way, especially when planning commission says it.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
we got a motion. I'll second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Perfect.
Take care of that one.
Brandon, do you want these in, or does it go back to her?
No, they go back to the auditor.
Okay, that's
She
all
distributes
we have
them
here.
accordingly. Just real quick, we're doing the same thing. We're berming, ditching,
Yeah, been seeing, you've been doing a lot of burning.
brush, cutting brush. Again, very minimal number of concerns, complaints, inquiries about berming, which I, of course, am happy for.
Sure.
We're doing some good, and hopefully people realize that, and
We've been fortunate to be able to do that this long.
right. A lot of times when people do, whether they're outright complaining or just asking questions, what are you doing? And we tell them, we need to get the water off the road. We're gonna reseed it in the spring, it'll come back. And we're doing it in preparation to, chip seal your road, then everybody's a lot better about things, so.
So at some point in time, it's become obvious to me, you and I are going to have to sit down and talk about the sewers and where they're going and stuff like that, because you have a need to know.
Well,
So-
yeah, because I went in that meeting last Friday kind of not in the know. They were
Okay.
talking about
You're talking about for
Those
the regional sewer
code-
district, and he's talking about the SDI.
No, I'm talking about the regional sewer district, because, we're going to be putting sewer lines in a lot of places, and you need to be in on that one. So I'll make sure you're in the loop on all that stuff. So we don't have any.
Sure, because there could be, not that I know everything that's everywhere in all the right-of-ways, but,
Yep, Yep.
certainly we want to make sure that we steer clear of county-regulated drains and any, known,
Sure.
like Lincoln Way East, I know that that's already congested. So,
yep. Okay, well, I just brought that out, that I need to make sure we stay in touch with each other on any projects that we're gonna do.
Sure.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep, thank you.
We appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is minutes. Have you had a chance to take a look at the minutes? Any questions, any amendments?
I was just making sure, did we have anything tabled?
No.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the November 20th, 2017 meeting.
Got a motion to approve the November 20th, 2017 minutes. I'll second that. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
I had a chance to do the claims this morning, and they were in very good shape. So I'll start out by making a motion that we approve the payroll claims.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve payroll claims. I'll second that. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And then I would make a motion that we approve the accounts payable claims.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the accounts payable claims. I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Do you have those for us to sign?
Excuse me.
I still try to write out and make motions.
Pretty easy on that one.
I know.
Shouldn't there be 3 places to sign?
I think just two. I think payroll and then
Okay.
claims.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so too, but I thought we always had some third one.
Probably.
Oh, this is,
So this is like the top one that says the
okay.
Thanks, sir. Now you broke it.
Old thing.
She'll put it back together.
that's fine. That's it.
Okay. Did you have anything for the auditor's office?
I do not.
Don, did you have anything?
No, sir.
Should we bring that up or wait until Tom? It's that one on the,
Yeah, it wouldn't to, when are you thinking about going
I think the
council?
sooner the better.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's, I think it's,
Okay, what I'm gonna bring up is that we've got a technical rule violator center that we're looking at to ease the overcrowding that we have in the jail. We've been looking at this for a long time. We've got a proposal from Elevatus and Michael Kinder and Sons to do a study, then it'll be a phase 1 study to check out the feasibility, a needs assessment, and they're asking for $15,000 for the the phase 1, which will be done within 60 to 90 days. It's something that we're being faced with because the facilities that we have are understaffed and we're overcrowded and we're going to have to do something about it. So what we're doing is trying to be proactive on this, and what I'd like to ask is that we would approve CEDAP funding for this study.
I would make a motion that we approve $15,000 towards the study from the CEDAP funds.
Okay, we've got a motion. I'll second that. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. And I'll bring that to council in the morning.
So does that come to council for just, is that a favorable pass from you guys? Is that what I'm first in?
Well, the CEDAT program is truly a commissioner's program, but we like to get approval from the council. It's, and working with the council on this to make sure that you're aware of it, and if there are any questions, any concerns that you have, that we can deal with that.
That's a study to see if we need an additional facility?
Yeah, it's, what they're going to do is they're going to actually work with the prosecutor, with all the judges. They're going to look into, it's a needs assessment. What does it look like in the future? Are there programs coming up or legislation coming up that will change that we won't need? That we'll have less in our facilities, or are we going to have more? But truly, we're not, we're not technical enough to know what's going on, and we need someone. Elevatus has worked with Adams County, and they've worked with DeKalb County in doing needs assessments, and they also do site surveys. They do a whole general survey for you so that you can know after this assessment where we need to be going, or it gives us direction so that we can look at it, because we can't just keep putting our head in the sand on this. We're going to have to do something about it. And we've got a good group together. We've got a jail task force that we've been looking at, and this is what the jail task force has come up with that we need to do.
Is this related at all to that meeting that Paula went to earlier this week?
No, well, no.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for the opioid
Yeah.
crisis that we've been on that, so.
We have a considerable number of people currently always in jail that jail might not be the best place for them. If we have to replace a faucet in the jail, a simple water faucet, it costs $700 because it's a correctional product. Why not think about, and I think that's where we're kind of headed here, why not think about an alternative place where you can have a $30 faucet instead of a $700 faucet, where these people, these people might have a drug problem, they might have an alcohol problem, they've done silly, probation violations, another big one. Are they really worthy of sticking in a jail cell and then?
With the exorbitant costs that come along with it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
These
yeah.
projects could very well be handled.
Oh, I just think, I think we're really on that. I'm not a part of this, but from what I've seen, I think we're really on to something here. Yeah, so.
Part of this facility is going to be programs, making sure that the right programs for the right people. Most of these people have it's either alcohol problems or drug problems that they've got, that they make bad decisions. They've already gone through, they've already done their time for the crime that they've committed, but, they've been dirty at one time or another on their test, so they end up back in jail. And so what we're doing, right now, out of 126 inmates that we have, approximately 60 are technical violators. So you take 60 out of that 126, and if we could put them into a minimum security area, it helps tremendously. And then if you look at another 15 to 20 of those that we have in jail right now are awaiting sentencing. So as you start breaking things down, and it's a big concern for us, are we doing the right thing for the prisoners that we've got?
That
So.
would help alleviate the other problem that we have as far as being overcrowded
Oh.
there.
Right.
The national prison system is set up much the same way. I mean, you have high security, you have medium security, you have low security facilities. So
Yep.
it would be nice for us to look at.
Yeah, and right now, we have 83 in community corrections that are actually housed at community corrections. And we're capable, I think, of 93 right now that we can handle over there. So we just need to look at alternatives. It's, we may be able to do a $5 million technical violator facility rather than put $40 million into a jail. And then what do you do with the jail that we've got at that point? So that's what we're looking at right now. We're trying to plan for the future. And it's hard with the legislation changing constantly. Any other questions on that? Okay, that's all I have. We are dealing with the DCS extension. I got some information again from DCS. We need to make a determination on what we're going to do with extension and Department of Child Services. So we're working on that right now. That's going to be something we need to do. By the end of the year, I'd like to see something, some kind of a plan for that. I think, Matt, did you have anything else? Public has nothing. We'll adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
Guess it's too early to wish them Merry Christmas.
Yeah.